Every single year, over $100 billion quietly vanishes from Africa. Not stolen at gunpoint, not lost in war, but silently drained through corruption, secret bank accounts, fake trade deals, and invincible financial pipelines that stretch from African capitals to offshore tax havens and skyscrapers in London, Dubai, and New York. This isn't just about money. It's about stolen futures, hospitals never built, schools never opened, and jobs that could have changed lives. This is the hidden financial crime no one talks about. The $100 billion leak that is keeping Africa poor. Most people imagine corruption as a politician taking a brown envelope of cash. But today's corruption is much smarter and much bigger. Every year, according to the United Nations and the African Union, Africa loses over $100 billion through what experts call illicit financial flows. That means money that leaves the continent illegally through tax evasion, fake trade invoices, money laundering, or simply stolen public funds hidden abroad. Think about it. That is more money leaving Africa every year than what the continent receives in foreign aid and investment combined. And what makes it worse? It's happening in plain sight. Inside contracts, trade deals, and clever accounting tricks, all perfectly designed to look legal until you look closer. To understand how this works, we need to go back to the root of how Africa's wealth was structured and how it still quietly benefits others. Africa is rich, unimaginably rich in gold, oil, diamonds, cobalt, and countless natural resources. Yet, for decades, that wealth has flowed out faster than it could ever grow. During the colonial era, raw materials were extracted and shipped abroad. After independence, the system evolved, but the flow didn't stop. Foreign companies set up complex networks. They created shell companies in tax havens like the British Virgin Islands or Mauritius, where they pay almost no tax. On paper, a mining company in Congo might say it sold its copper for $1 per kilo, but the real buyer, a sister company in Switzerland, sells it for $5. The $4 profit, it disappears into a bank account overseas. And just like that, billions vanish every year, with governments in Africa losing taxes they desperately need. It's legal on paper, but morally, it's theft. The system was built decades ago, and it still works perfectly for everyone except Africans. Let's talk about how the money escapes. One of the biggest tricks is called trade misinvoicing. Imagine a company in Nigeria imports machines for $2 million, but on paper they say it cost $10 million. They overpay themselves, moving $8 million abroad, untaxed, unseen, and gone. Or the opposite, under invoicing exports. A company in Ghana sells gold worth $20 million, but declares only $5 million. The rest disappears offshore. And then there's money laundering. Corrupt officials, drug traffickers, and criminal networks all use banks and shell companies to hide stolen money. They buy luxury apartments in Dubai or London, often through anonymous companies. In 2020, a report showed that Africans own over $400 billion in offshore assets hidden in secret accounts. Meanwhile, millions at home live on less than $2 a day. It's not just a crime, it's a betrayal of trust, of opportunity, and of generations. The sad truth is, corruption isn't always obvious. It doesn't always involve bribes in briefcases. Today, corruption wears a suit, carries a briefcase, and speaks English, French, or Arabic fluently. These are high-level politicians, business executives, and foreign consultants who understand the loopholes. They use offshore companies to hide ownership. They hire lawyers to move money legally across borders. They donate to political campaigns, sponsor conferences, and pretend to be legitimate businessmen. And while Africa loses billions, international banks and law firms quietly take their cut. The biggest money laundering scandals of the past decade, from Danske Bank, HSBC to Standard Chartered, all had traces leading back to developing countries, including those in Africa. But here is the painful truth. Many of these banks faced small fines and went right back to business. So the system continues, protected, polished, and powerful. If you want to see where the money goes missing, look at Africa's natural resources. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, one of the richest countries on earth in minerals, billions of dollars worth of cobalt and copper leave every year. Yet, the government earns almost nothing. In Nigeria, Africa's top oil producer, tens of millions of barrels of oil are stolen annually through illegal pipelines and ghost shipments. In Zimbabwe, artisanal miners dig for gold that is quietly smuggled to Dubai, while the state treasury receives crumbs. According to the African Development Bank, resource smuggling and underreporting cost African nations up to $60 billion per year alone. And who profits? A global web of companies and middlemen who know exactly how to hide the trail. Every barrel of stolen oil, every ounce of gold smuggled away, every dollar untaxed is a future. When we talk about billions, it feels abstract, but this money could have changed lives. With $100 billion a year, Africa could build thousands of hospitals, modern schools, clean water systems, and reliable power grids. That money could fund millions of jobs for young people and reduce the migration crisis. Instead, it ends up buying luxury yachts, private jets, and mansions abroad. Every stolen dollar means a child without a vaccine, a farmer without access to water, a graduate without a future. And the worst part, many ordinary Africans don't even know this silent robbery is happening because it's invincible, hidden behind financial jargon, shell companies, and foreign contracts written in fine print. This isn't just Africa's problem. It's a global system built to help the rich hide money and make it almost impossible to trace. When the Panama Papers and Pandora Papers leaks came out, dozens of African politicians, businessmen, and even presidents were exposed, with offshore accounts worth millions. From Kenya to South Africa, Nigeria to Angola, the pattern is the same. Local elites hide money abroad, often with the help of Western firms and tax havens. It's not just about greed. It's about power, because money stored offshore gives influence, protection, and control. And while Western governments condemn corruption publicly, their banks, real estate markets, and financial systems quietly enable it. Africa bleeds, and the world looks away. But not everyone is silent. In recent years, African nations have started to fight back. Countries like Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa have begun recovering stolen funds from abroad. Billions repatriated from Switzerland, the UK, and the US. New laws are being passed to track beneficial ownership, meaning the real people behind shell companies. Groups like the African Union's high-level panel on illicit financial flows, led by former South African President Thabo Mbeki, are pushing for transparency and reform. Technology is helping too. Blockchain and AI-powered audits are exposing fake trade invoices and digital money laundering networks. and more young Africans are demanding accountability on social media, in protests, and in politics. The war isn't over, but the silence is breaking. Africa doesn't need more aid. It needs fairness. It needs to stop the leaks. Experts say if Africa could keep even half of the $100 billion lost each year, the continent could fund its own development without relying on loans or donations. Imagine an Africa that uses its own wealth to build its future, where gold, oil, and diamonds don't disappear into offshore accounts, but build schools, hospitals, and industries at home. It's not a dream. It's possible if transparency wins, if leaders stay honest, and if the world finally closes the loopholes that let corruption thrive. Africa doesn't lack money, it lacks justice. Every dollar stolen is a story unfinished, a dream delayed, a continent robbed not by poverty, but by greed. But the truth is out now, and the next chapter is up to us. Because when the silence ends, change begins. Every story has a lesson. If this one opened your eyes, share it. Someone else might need to learn from it too. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in finance, nothing lasts forever.